What's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back in the video today. And today I'm going to be talking about why I think the Houston Rockets should pass on signing Khris Middleton. Yes, we're going to be talking about why the Houston Rockets should not sign Khris Middleton in free agency. As today was announced on Bleacher Report that the Rockets are targeting stars in this year's free agency. Three guys that are on the Rockets' radar. Of course, we've heard about James Harden and Jaylen Brown, which I don't think Jaylen Brown can be signed this year. I think you have to trade for him. I'm not sure, though. I'm not for sure on that. Now, and also Khris Middleton. But Khris Middleton is a free agent, so you wouldn't have to trade for him. Out of those three guys, the only guys you'd have to trade for is Jaylen Brown. I think I'm correct on that. But Khris Middleton, that's a hard no for me, because, and I don't like Khris Middleton as a player. He's a really talented player. He's a hell of a player. But if you look at Khris Middleton in the last 2-3 years, I think ever since the bubble, he has had a lot of injury concerns. When he's healthy, he's a great player. He was really good in that Heat series as well. And I know they lost in 5 to the Heat, but he still had some great games in that series. Some games when Giannis was playing, some games when they didn't have Giannis. But his health concerns me. And if the Rockets are going to pay a guy a lot of freaking money, I want them to be the person they pay to be healthy. And I don't know if Khris Middleton can play 82 games in a season. And obviously, no, you're not going to expect anybody to go out there and play 82 games in the season unless they're like a guy unless it's Mikal Bridges or PJ Tucker when he was younger, because PJ Tucker used to play in every basketball game he was available to play. I mean, Mikal Bridges is basically like the old PJ Tucker, but he's a way better player. I mean, Mikal Bridges look at his streak is going on since high school. He hasn't missed a game since high school. I mean, it's such an important streak to him that in the last game of the season against the Sixers, not in the playoffs, in the season finale, before the season was over, they played the Sixers right before they were going to have a playoff matchup with the Sixers, and the Nets weren't going to play any of their starters. But Mikal Bridges is important to him I think it's been like 500 straight games for Mikal Bridges where he's played in all basketball games he's never missed a game in his NBA career. He's never missed a college game, and then I think there's a certain stop point where in college in high school where he's never missed a high school game. So they were resting all their starters, and he just checks in for the first second of the game, so that streak doesn't end. That's how important it is to him. But besides Mikal Bridges, you can never guarantee, and I don't even think with Mikal Bridges you can guarantee a guy's health for a full 82 games season. I mean, the regular season is from October to mid-April, so it's hard to stay healthy all season. But Khris Middleton this season, it was more, he just had a lot of injuries that costed him weeks, maybe even months of missing basketball. I mean, I don't think he made his season debut till like December, January, and then he started playing for a couple weeks, I think, and then he was back on the injury report. So he just was on the injury report a long time. If you're gonna pay a guy a lot of money in free agency, I'm assuming, I'm just throwing out a number, maybe he's gonna want $30 million a year possibly, and that's over 4 years possibly. I mean, he's 31 years old. Give him a contract that's up when he's 35 or 36. So let's just say he wants $30. You're paying him a 4-year, $120 million deal, and honestly, he probably won't want $125. So what's that? That's about $31.5 million, I think, or a little under $31.5 million this season. So I don't see the point of paying a guy that much money. That, yes, he's a great player when he's healthy, and when you when you need him in the most, and when he's his best player, he's an amazing player in the playoffs and in the regular season when he's best healthy. But I'd rather sign James Harden, a guy who's going to stay way healthier. Harden might miss a couple games in the season, might most likely will play about 66, 65 games in the season, if not a little more, maybe 70, just depending on how he's feeling. And he's a little bit older than Middleton. Harden's like 33, 34, which is like, 2 or 3 years younger than Middleton is. So, Harden, a guy who I think would make the team a little bit better than Middleton would, because I think Harden puts the guys together. He's a guy who, when he was in Houston before, Harden he was actually not what he is now in Philly. Harden, when he was back, when Harden used to be here, he was kind of a ball hog. Not a lot of players on the team liked him that much. Most did, but there was a couple guys on the roster that didn't like Harden that much. Team chemistry wasn't that great, but now in Philly, he's more of a team guy than he was, compared to when he was in Houston. Harden in Philly now, he's more of a team guy than he's ever been in his career, and he makes that Philly team better, with all the ball movement they do and how much more he passes it now than tries to score. And if he does what he's doing in Philly right now and brings that over to Houston, if we sign him, I think it's going to be an amazing input for the Rockets offense and roster. But if he builds those young guys together like he is in Philly, I think that would be great for the Houston Rockets. So I'd rather want Harden, who's 2 or 3 years older than Middleton, and most likely might take less money than Middleton because he wants what's best for this team. Harden spent 9-10 years here. His ultimate goal was to win a championship here. He couldn't do it. He was one game. They were one game away from going to the NBA championship. Lost in Game 7 against the Warriors. Was so close. Harden will take a little bit less money. I guarantee it. Harden will take a little bit less money to increase the chances for the Rockets to soon become champions. Harden doesn't have a lot of time left. He's 33, 34 years old. He does not have a lot of time left. He knows this is his only window. If he comes to Houston, they want to do it right. So I think Harden would be willing to be paid way less money than Middleton would be, when Harden is a way better player than Middleton right now. So I'd rather, to answer that question, I do not go after Middleton due to his health and how much money he's going to want, when he might miss a lot of time if he gets injured again. And when he gets injured, sometimes, he'll get injured again. It's just when Middleton's healthy, he's a great player. And if he's going to if there's a guarantee of him being fully healthy, let's go for it. But I think for the Rockets, I think I'd rather go after Harden in free agency than Middleton. He's a great player, but his health the last couple of years has been a big concern for me, and we'll see what happens. And that's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoy them. Your thoughts. Peace out. Go Rockets.